Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT, the USO, the UUP, and the GLD. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames, and we use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. So let's get right into the daily SPY. Actually, you know what? Let's go to the 10-minute first. So the 10-minute, what a day. They actually gap it up a little bit throughout the whole day. We catch this little double bottom here, get a little bounce, boom, comes right back in. And the rest of the day, just, I can't even go back. Let's see it. Maybe right here, we had an area there. So basically, wherever the trend lines are, you do have some support. It did not hold today. We had a little consolidation down. We almost filled the gap at the 209.53. They just missed it because that's where all the technical guys were waiting. They bounce it up, bring it back, bounce it up. After hours, we are down 28 cents. So we are at, what, 210.72. So we're, just a little bit down after hours, nothing crazy. Some earnings went off. I'm not sure exactly which ones, but it will affect that a little tiny bit. But let's go into the daily again. So the daily, we've been talking about the 212.29 area for a little while now. Today we cracked through it, but let's see if they can possibly pop it back up above it. We did crack through this little pivot right here as well. Let me zoom in. We did get through this pivot as well, right around 211.26, and we did close a little bit below it, which was 211.01, right on the even number. But they did come out, they saved it. If we were to close down in this area, anything's possible, guys. So at this point, this bearish pattern is starting to play out a little bit, but the light volume prevailed. Going in, we had light volume throughout the day, and then it started getting heavier. We did have 122 on the day, 122 million. So I shouldn't say it was light, but it is lighter. But I guess it's better than 70 million, which we normally been getting 60 million. So the selling came in, and boom, we were off to the races. We covered a couple trades today. We sold some of our put positions today. Any little bit of profit we're taking. We're selling half positions, holding the rest. If they pop up, we add more short. We do it that way. Tomorrow will be an interesting day. I see if they could get it back above this 212.29 area and this sloping trend line too. This has some meaning as well, guys, and we're below it. So I think their goal tomorrow is they're going to try to get it above it, or possibly during the week to pop it above. We do have the jobs number on Friday, so it's a wild card. Remember, jobs number pop, and they dropped it. Jobs number somewhere. I think maybe it was right here, and 923. We had a little pop. Oh, right here. 10 somewhere, maybe it was right there, yeah, and then they dropped somewhere. We did pop up a little bit on the jobs and it came right back in, but watch the jobs number coming up. That will be some news that could possibly move the markets in either direction. Weekly, same thing. We've been talking about this bearish consolidation inside bar pattern. We did close below the 20 MA last week. Let's see if we could get below that trend line and possibly close down here on a weekly basis, or even down here. To save this, they need to get it back above the 20 MA. They need to close it above these pivots here around 217 or so, and then this could possibly move up. But we're right in that time frame, guys, where correction is well overdue for these markets. So I am a little more bearish on the SPY. All right, let's get right into the IWM. One we've been telling everybody for weeks and months. This one's been lagging. Lagging indicator on the IWM is not good. Now this one's possibly leading the way down. We did come in. Let me see what we did today. We did fill the gap today here right around 116.80 or so. It did get the bounce. We did close above the 50% retrace as well. So at this point, technically, it's starting to break down. We are well below the 50 and the 20 MA, and we are definitely heading for the 13 area, in my opinion. The only thing that's going to save this is possibly a good jobs report. Then we might pop up. If you're bullish, you need to get back above these MAs and possibly, maybe come up here and fill this gap and get a little bit higher. But until then, these markets are slowly going to bleed, in my opinion. 200 MA, you have a gap fill around 110, ultimately 108.73 on the IWM. You go to the weekly, same thing. You're just starting to break down. You had a nice rolling top, pulled it back, nice another retrace. That's our typical move to get all the shorts to cover. Couldn't handle it. Boom, We held the 20 MA and then bam, right in and then right back down. Like I said, we filled the gap here. We're heading towards this area, 113 and possibly 112 even number. So yes, and again, lagging indicator. Here's the highs, here's where it's been, everything else was leading, this is lagging. What's going to happen is, if this starts leading the way down, the markets will follow. That's how it works, guys. Qs. Qs weren't that bad, 88 cents down, but still a little bit weak. Daily basis, we are below the MAs. We did confirm on a daily basis that we're below the 50 and the 20 MA. We did come down to this pivot. Possible, no gaps down here, but we did capture that pivot. We came into this, oh, there was a gap fill right there. Filled the gap, 750 retrace, and right back up. They did close it above this pivot here at 115.94, and actually got it above the even number of 116. So not bad, but technically we're still a little bit weak. We're below the MAs now, so it's in a weaker stance. We're going to wait for setup or wait for more downside. I still think we're getting to 110 or the 200 moving average, and then there's some gaps to fill on the way down. Ultimately 102.25 if these markets really start to break down. On the weekly chart, reason we cover some of the shorts today, the Qs did hit the 20 MA, still in a strong stance on the weekly, but starting to look a little bit sluggish in my opinion. We're going to know more by the end of the week, see where this closes. We need to stay above the 20 MA if you're still bullish. If it closes below the 20 MA on a weekly close, then you prepare for lower prices. Looking at the 110 and ultimately around the 102 with this pivot. You do have a trend line up in here too, so that's going to be some support, but we're going to have to line it up with everything else to see if the SPY's selling, the IWM's dumping, and then we're going to look to see even like the Facebooks, the Amazons, see how those are doing as well. But if this one starts to charge down, I think it's going to be fast and furious, guys. It's due. And this one's kind of been holding on to the highs here. Eventually, if everything else slowly bleeds, which it is, the Qs or the SPY, the IWM, the Dow's doing okay. But this is the strong horse right now. If this one starts leading, oh, look out, guys. The DIA, only $1.05 down, nothing great. But still, on a daily inside bar, bearish pattern, still holding on to this little pivot here though. They did hold on to the 180. We talked about their area for a while. They did hold on, but we did catch this pivot as well. Still a bearish consolidation pattern underneath the 220 and the 50 moving average. This is setting up for lower prices in my opinion. If you need, or if you're bullish and you're looking for higher prices, this needs to get above this trend line here. Then it needs to fill this gap and start making lower highs or higher lows, because right now we're making lower highs. So we need to make this high a higher low or a higher high and then continue up or whatever that is. Something like that. But this is a bearish consolidation pattern, inside bar, setting up for lower prices. I mean, this is great. But coming into Friday, jobs report, like I said, who knows? I wouldn't doubt they gap it up and keep them going. You know, that's their goal in life. Janet Yellen, Ben Bernanke, all those guys. But on the weekly, inside bar, bearish pattern, setting up for lower prices. We're still holding the lows here. So let's see what happens on the Friday close. This is the DIA. The IYT. The IYT, we just barely held on to 8,008 on the Dow Jones Transports. This is the IYT, the ETF that mimics that. And daily chart, we were down 93 cents. You know, not terrible, but you know, it's still just trying chop. Look at this, just chopping around. This only has 142,000 on the day traded, so it's not a heavy volume trader. But I mean, they're just chopping around. We did try to get above the 20, never confirmed, came right back in. So now we're between the 20 and the 50 in a neutral stance, still slightly bullish, being up above the 200 and the 50, but slowly consolidating sideways to possibly have lower prices. Like I said, I'm bearish, guys, in these markets, so I will not be trading anything long until the SPY starts to break and we find good support level down there. But on the IYT, we have good support here. We have the moving averages all curling together, so that could possibly help. It's almost like they kept it up to see if these moving averages can curl into price and push this thing up. This is a good bullish pattern here, and it still can't break out. Until it does, I still believe this is going down. If these get closer, we're going to gap down one day, and this thing's going to probably hit this line, maybe set up sideways, and then the next leg down. That's in my opinion. If you're bullish on this one, you still need to get above the 150, 151 area. and then first these pivots here around 147.02. Until then, these markets are going lower. Let's go to the USO. USO was a great pullback. We have the SCO that's just been ripping lately. But again, you know, they were all bullish again, came in, inside bar, popped it out, head fake, tried to get the shorts to cover, right back in. So all the shorts that said, oh my gosh, here we go again, they all got out and then they dropped it. Then I guarantee these guys are chasing it down here. 200 MA's holding it. I'm waiting for pattern and possibly the next leg down. If this one pushes, you're going to go right into this trend line down here. We've had that one out there for a long time. And it will hit that trend line, and you could probably, actually, you can make a case for this one too. Let's move this one. Let's connect this dot to this dot. Oh, not yet. So there's another little trend line there that could possibly hold these markets. So let's see if this pattern sets up for inside bar bearish pattern, lower prices. If not, we're looking for a retrace back up into this area. If it gets back up into 1166, we're going to short it again. Just keep rinsing and repeat it. But the SCO, we're in that one. We're up on the trade. It did come back a little bit today. I'm thinking about possibly taking half off. I'd love to see a couple more bucks on it, but I still have a light position in it. Still good enough. If you get a $20 move on it, it will be a heck of a trade. But still light. Like I said, we took the we covered half the USO already, so we made money on that. And if you know SCO is up as well, so we'll chisel it off this one probably first, and then we'll keep the SCO and see if that can run a little bit longer. But on the weekly basis, we never confirmed above the MAs, and now we're right back into them. Just like the last 3 times, guys. Same setup. And everyone still gets bullish. I mean, this is where we shorted, covered, shorted, covered, shorted, covered. You know, so now we're into these trend lines. Oh, gosh, we're back below on a weekly basis. So if this closes below here, we'll look for confirmation. If we do get below this trend line, we're definitely going to 923, and I wouldn't doubt we go back to double bottom, possibly lower. We got to see if this trend line breaks. I think we're going downtown on oil, and that's when the markets are going to break and everything's going to start to fall. Just be careful, longs. Protect your positions. Don't get cocky. If you have a profit, take it and run. UUP. UUP's pulling back a little bit. Dollar down. What was it? Dollar down. You got gold up and oil up. So dollar did pull back on a daily basis. We did hit this bunch of resistance up in here. It was setting up to possibly go higher prices. They did bring it down. We're right back into the retrace, the 382 retrace and the 20 MA. You do have support in here, so let's see if this could stay or possibly bounce right back and continue going. Weekly chart, same thing. We're still consolidating. You have a little tail here, so let's see if we could pull back and possibly, you know, let's see if we could push up. But weekly close on this, we'll see where we are. If we close below the 382, we could possibly pull back into this area. If we do, we'll see if this goes back the other way. And I think it might be one of these 1, 2, and then launch. But we're gonna hit, you know, each and every day we get a different piece of the puzzle. The GLD, we had a couple questions about the live session. Again, inside bar, bearish pattern into the 200 moving average. This is the weekly. Let's see if we close above the 200 on Friday or if we get back below it. I do like this pattern. The daily pattern did break out a little bit. You know, still intact. We did get to this. We talked about this gap window. Got up there, got rejected. Still slightly bearish. I got to see more information in the next couple of days to see where this goes. I still like the 115 area and then the 112.40, 109.78. So. All right, guys, remember, I'm doing live sessions, so watch my stuff on StockTwits, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I guess you'll get the email as soon as I go live. I'll post something and usually go live about 10 minutes later to give people time to come into the room. I'm trying to go at 12 o'clock Eastern time or, you know, lunchtime on Wall Street in New York. I'd like to do it every day or if not every other day. I'm enjoying this. People come to the room. They're giving me charts. They're giving me trades. They're giving me stuff to look at, and we're possibly putting out some good trades out there and making money. So come into the room, subscribe. It's all free. Now, I'm not charging anything, and let's make something happen, guys. Again, thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for following me. John at StockBookie.com. Thanks again. God bless. See you on the charts.